At Quahog Honda and Subarus, we got Hondas and Subarus. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Hey, young world. I am Reese, the beautiful black beast of the Southeast. Also, the Gryffindor Quidditch team captain. Joined with me today is my son,
the Arsene owning Onyx, you know the vibes.
And also my brother,
Marvin.
And we're here to do another edition of Max, Reese, and Marvin reviews for you. So today we went to see The Lion King reboot, live action version. And we're here to give you our thoughts, opinions, and analyze the thing.
Well, I'd like to kick it off with saying the movie was great, to be honest. Of course, it's not nearly going to be as impactful as the first Lion King, but as it goes with CGI and effects like that, they did amazing. It exceeded my expectations. I was expecting it for it to be not that good, but I like some of the details that they put in. I thought, because I knew they'd add some new things to some of the scenes, and I thought that would ruin the Lion King nostalgia. However, it actually added to it and made the movie better.
I myself, I have mixed feelings about it. I mean, it was obvious that they probably spent $200-300 million on the budget of this movie. The CGI was top notch. There were times where I really couldn't tell if we were watching actual animals in an actual landscape, or if it was just a computer generated landscape and animals. They were that good with it. They fooled me some of the time. But then at other times, it was too computer animated. It's it was obvious. You have these animals walking through the landscape and I'm like, that looks fake as all heck. But for the most part, it was really top notch. But that wasn't really my issue. The voice acting was okay, but I thought that in the previous movie, the 1994 Lion King, their voice acting was perfect, and what I thought they probably should have did, which would have been a better thing to do, was just to go ahead and use the same voice files from that and just apply it to their new live action animals. Forgive me, but I like that one better. It was perfect. I don't think they needed to change that at all.
You know, if you saw the first one, in all honesty, you saw this. All right, kill the lights, kill the camera, we done. In all honesty, they didn't change much. They didn't divert from the original story. It's exactly the same, which everybody knew. We just seeing it in a live version. But I agree with these guys. I'm not saying all voice acting was bad, because James Earl Jones definitely shined, and the guy who did Scar, I think his name is he has a weird name. It's Chiwetel I don't know how you say it. But he did a marvelous job. Now, I'm not saying Beyonce and Donald Glover were bad by any extent, but I just didn't think it was. I didn't think it compared to the original, the movie. I thought the audio, all the voice acting, everything was perfect. This you can see it was spotty. It was a little spotty. My biggest thing from this was, everybody knew the story, knew how it was going to end. So again. It wasn't impactful at all. You already knew what was going to happen. But just the way everybody got along in the movie theater, everybody was singing the songs and clapping, that made for, I think, a much better experience. Everybody, people can get together, get along, man, and enjoy something without negativity and being retarded. So
I like that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Another thing that I wanted to point out with that was in our theater, there was this little kid in the Mufasa death scene where Simba, he was yelling "Dad" multiple times. I think it was about 3 or 4 times. And then there was a baby in the theater and he started yelling "Dad" as well. I just thought that was funny.
The only thing I felt that hurt it when I was watching it is that being that these were animals talking and you couldn't get real facial expression. Like for instance, when Simba's dad died, and you could hear it in his voice that he was hurting and it was sad, and you can hear that he was crying, but they didn't show that. You couldn't see that the animal felt that. Like his face was the same way when we were speaking any other time. So you didn't see any tears or a frown up. It was just he was talking, the face was moving, and he was saying the lines. So and that had zero impact, because I'm like, you can't see the emotion. You just hear it, it's just talking, but you couldn't see it really. And I felt like it was that throughout the whole movie, because they're animals and you can't see facial expressions, you can't see the hurt, the pain, the joy. You can see them smiling a little bit, but that was it. They were no tears or anything like that, and I thought that hindered the emotional scenes. They were so focused on having them look realistic, which they did a magnificent job.
Oh yeah,
magnificent. As they said earlier, you could not tell at many points. I'm like, this looks so real. I couldn't tell, and there were other areas where it's like, all right, this is CGI. But for most of the movie, you couldn't tell. But that's where they dropped the ball at. The emotion, and that you didn't get that facial animation that. But I'm sorry, I got to praise James Earl Jones again. The man has a fabulous voice. The delivery of the lines, I mean, masterful.
Agree, and I really don't want to bash these actors too much, because any other time, I would think that they did a pretty good job. It's just that the standard that was set in a 1994 movie was so high that, it's hard to match up with that. It was like, how do you improve on something perfect? Anything else you'd be taken away from, and I really don't want to call out names or anything, but so Whoopi Goldberg was the leader of the Hyenas in the 1994 version. So they replaced her with some actor, I'm not sure what the woman's name is, and I thought she did a good job, but oh my God, Whoopi was amazing when she did it, and she didn't even come close to capturing what Whoopi did. But I will say this, I thought Donald Glover, I enjoy his singing. That was like the high point of the movie to me. I thought he did a great job.
Alright, but yeah, I was going to try to touch on the singing as well. Donald Glover did an amazing job. I already thought the kid who did Child Simba was good, and he was pretty decent. And when he had gone to an adult and Donald Glover had to play him, they also did really well. So I'd say Simba's a perfect character. The character for Scar was also pretty good. I liked how Scar, there was so much detail to his voice. You could really, just his voice matched up with his character so much. Even though it was kind of semi-British, which kind of didn't make sense, but it was it matched him so well. He played his voice actor. His voice actor played him so good, and I was really impressed. Another thing, one thing that I kind of didn't like in the movie was how you seen that Nala and Simba had grown up when they started fighting. When Nala had pulled up to their spot, and Nala actually pinned him. I get it, that was something to reminisce from your childhood, but still come on, that's totally
well, and I felt that too. But they did the same thing in the 1994 version, and I even felt like then. It's one thing when y'all kids in the same size. But he's a full-grown male lion. I mean,
300 pounds more than you.
He was way bigger than her, and she's still able to toss him and pin them. And I've had it, but I'm like, well, if they did it in the '94 version and they keeping everything the same, I knew they would do it in this too. And I'm like, no.
But it did look worse in live action.
Yeah, because he got that one hand, one paw just pinning him down. I'm like, get the heck out of here. I'm like, man, yeah, right. I'm like, this guy pimp slapping freaking hyenas, but this chick just come in, just roll over and doo-doo.
And I was trying to tell Max, hyenas are no joke, man.
No, they're not.
These things they're extremely large. They're not small animals, and they have the strongest bite out of any animal.
2,000 pounds of pressure.
Yeah. So, you can't be pimp slapping hyenas, but then a female. And I know lioness are the ones that actually do the hunting.
Yeah.
But the male lion, they're protection.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they're naturally stronger. So
it didn't make sense. Plot armor to the max.
Oh, for one thing. Rafiki and the staff. Come on. Y'all, the dude pulled it out way at the end of the movie, near the end, when we're going into the final, the third act, we're going to the final battle. And he got it hidden. I'm like, in the original, since y'all want to stick so closely to the original, and I mean, y'all were 99%, spot on. Why? What's with the staff? Why you wanna hide the staff? Come on. What was that about?
Some of the songs weren't as good as the original, and I want to say maybe it's because, getting caught up in all this live action and trying to do it in a more realistic way. Like, I recall, being amped over that Scar song, Be Prepared, back in the animation, and it didn't have the same impact in this new one. I mean, it was still dope. It just wasn't as cool, man.
But that Weema Way was that Weema Yo, that one was hard, bro. When that came on, everybody in the theater was like, y'all did that one.
Yeah,
nice.
They actually did better than the first one because
nice.
When they did it, they had other animals join it. They like walking through, and then they was just rocking with a weem away, and it was so dope. Yeah.
Speaking of that Be Prepared scene with Scar when he was in the hyenas territory, I like how prior to that scene, there was a scene of Nala and Simba. They were going through those underground tunnels, trying to find an escape from the hyenas before Simba came knocking dudes out and stuff. I really like that scene. That was beautifully.
You said Simba knocking.
You're right. When Mufasa was knocking people out. So I like how they were going in through the tunnels. Hyenas were coming down. That scene was.
That was a nice escape scene. It really was.
Mm-hmm. And then I love how there was that transition into Simba trying to do his cute little roar, and then when he roared again, Mufasa had kind of shabated him, the hyenas, into thinking that Simba had made that roar, and they were kind of scared. But the crowd was confused, kind of. But then you seen Mufasa coming out, and he was straight up knock these hyenas out, like threatening to kill these hyenas and stuff. I thought that was awesome.
Also, like, I don't remember liking Zazu as much as I did in this one, but
yeah,
that's like the bravest bird in the world. That man
was beating the crap out of hyenas in that one scene with Scar and stuff.
Yeah, he was busting hyenas upside the head and stuff.
Yeah, I agree, man. That mentor role he played, and it wasn't annoying. It wasn't annoying at all. He was, really trying to enforce what Mufasa was telling him and be a source of guidance. And he wasn't annoying. You actually did like him. I mean, not saying that you didn't like him, but it seemed that in the '94 animation version, he was more comedic. But in this one, it just was a very likable character.
Right. I understood the importance of Zazu a lot more now. Maybe it's because we're adults now, and that it's more clear. But yeah, he was very important to those cubs, and I really appreciated that character.
Yeah, he was kind of like the butler to those cubs, I'd say.
More than that.
Like,
that's how they treated him, but he was more than that.
Zazu, like Simba, I know you want to be the Lion King one day. Can't wait to be king. But you need to stay in a child's place because initially he almost got him, and not only him, but also his future waifu killed by those hyenas.
How come everyone has a traditional or African-based name except for Scar? Why is Scar the only one Scar? Everybody got these cool.
That's what I was wondering.
Cool names, and then as I was just sitting here thinking about it, I guess it's kind of indicative of his, his emotion, how he feels about
and his scar on his eye.
Yes, and also the physical scar on his face as well as the emotional, and his pride has been scarred because he did challenge. Well, it never was his birthright because of Mufasa is an older brother, and that was Mufasa's birthright, and he challenged him and got beat. So but he got an emotional scar. He has a physical scar, and his pride has been scarred. But just thinking.
My question is what was Scar's name prior to being scarred and being emotionally scarred, getting that physical scar from, I assume, Mufasa?
Geraldine. I don't know. That's stupid. One thing that was kind of silly to me is those hyenas. Like at the end, like why did they switch out on Scar and decide to kill Scar at the end? I mean, really?
Yeah, like it was kind of obvious that he was lying.
Right, just to protect his own neck at that time. But
it's like you killing the guy because you got a little hurt feelings over what he said.
Like, come on,
it's like before then, every single thing he promised them, he made good on.
Yeah,
like they really should have been understanding. You think these snake-buying hyenas would understand?
They had to wrap it up somehow, and they had to give him his just desserts.
He should have died. The Scar should have died there when Simba had knocked him off, though. So
he was just desserts.
There you go.
So what are you rating this movie? Go Max.
I give it a 10 out of 10.
We don't do that.
What?
I give 5 lion heads. 5 lion heads. Matching the theme of the movie.
That works.
Okay, me rating The Lion King live action reboot. I want to give it a perfect 5, but was it a perfect movie?
Yes, it was.
Gonna be
Yes, it was.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5.
All of your
Man, it's ridiculous how similar we are brothers. I was thinking the same thing. As much as I love it, and perfection, I don't know if there's such thing, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4.5 heads as well. I mean, again, I highly recommend it. Please go see it. Please take your kids, nostalgia purposes, whatever. It's good. It's definitely worth it. It's a fun movie. It's a happy movie. Yes, it has sad moments, but it's still up there with some of the best.
All right, so that wraps up another edition of Max, Reese, and Marvin Reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. Everybody out there, be good to each other.
Don't let your distractions hinder your actions.
What he said.
Peace.
Matata.
Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. All right, peace.
Oh, we're right through your day.